you've got to understand that the person that you see yourself as and the person that you are now might not be able to coexist together. And one of them has got to go. Hola, hola, hola todos. Es tu prima favorita, Bobby here. Thank you for joining me today in the Cousins Corner. If you are new here, welcome to the Cousins Corner. Bienvenidos a mi canal. If you are not new here, welcome back. And it's so nice to see you again. I'm tu prima favorita, Bobby, and I just like to talk. And today I'm going to be talking about something that is really close to me and a really good realization that I have come to, which is there is a person that I have been, a person that I am currently, and then there's the woman that I see myself as. And as of recent, I've had to realize, I think I've already realized this, but I think that this was just me vocalizing it. But there are certain things that the woman I am right now, who I love so much because it took a lot for me to get here, there are certain traits about the woman that I am right now that cannot coexist with the woman that I see myself as. And let me say this. Let me explain, me voy a explicar that as lovely and luscious and beautiful life is right now, like I can really think about my life and I do a lot and I want to cry because I'm so proud of myself, so proud of where I am, so proud of where I've been, where I've come from and where I'm going. But there's a person that I see myself as, my future self, right? And there are things or there are ways about me right now that cannot coexist with that version of myself. Just as right now, there were things about my past self that couldn't coexist with the person that I am right now. And one of the biggest things that I have come to realize as of late is that I've always been, I like to say frugal, but I've always been pretty cheap, you know? And it's not a bad thing. I am very much so a budgeter, right? I don't just blow my money on whatever. I know where every dollar goes, where it comes from. Like I have, you know, multiple streams of income. So I keep very close tabs on everything, right? That's just the way that I am. And that also kind of stems from trauma that I have behind money and growing up, not always having what we needed. So a lot of that for me came out of a trauma response, but it created really healthy habits that I have. And where I used to have really, I don't want to say negative views around money, but really like trauma-based views around money, I don't have those anymore. And those are some of the things that used to be very true to my old self, that right now it's like the way I think about money is a very healthy way, right? But still like being like super frugal and super cheap and just like, oh, I'm gonna get, you know, the cheapest version, or I don't really need that because I don't really need to spend that money when it's something that I actually really want and something that I can't afford. And I don't say this to say that future me is just all willy-nilly, oh, I got money to blow. No, that's not it. Some form of me, I'm always going to be some form of frugal, I'm pretty sure. But I had to realize that future me doesn't deprive herself of the things that she wants and the things that she desires, or present me for that matter, because I'm already her. But before this became present me, does not deprive herself of the things that she wants and the things that she desires just to penny pinch, right? There have been so many times that there were certain things that I either wanted, whether it's because I wanted to decorate my house with them, or I just wanted it, you know, whether it was like a piece of clothing, or whether it was some home decor, or whether it was an experience, or I can't say to go somewhere because I will spend some money on travel. One thing about me, the money will go towards traveling. Like I won't super splurge on traveling, but that's the area for me where I'm a little bit more like, I'll cough up a little bit more coin to go and have those experiences, because that's something that I really value and that's something that's really important to me. But I was finding myself being like, oh no, I don't need that, or just discounting certain things that I really wanted or really desired to have, or whatever the case may be, for the sake of I couldn't justify spending that money. And it wouldn't even be like a whole bunch of money either. We talking like, I don't want to tell too much of my business here, but my brows used to raise when I would see like a shirt for $15. I'm like, oh, I don't need that. $15 for a shirt? For something I'm wearing on my back? Like, no. And it sounds so funny, but it's so true. Or even like a pair of jeans, I'm like, $20 for a pair of jeans? You're gonna be messed up. Like, I'm not spending that much money. I'm gonna go down to the Ross, to the DD's discount, you know, and nothing wrong with those places, because I'm still go. It was just stuff like that, and I just used to discount myself for it. And I had to realize, like, future me is not about to be up here arguing herself over the difference between $5 for this thing that she really wants or whatever. Being like, oh, well, I can go, I just need to go find it cheaper. Because sometimes that works, right? Sometimes you can hop on good old Amazon and you can go find some stuff for cheaper. You could hit up the Dollar Tree, dollar store, whatever the case may be. And then other times it's like, that's more work than just getting what it is that you actually just want. And that's just one example, right? Just realizing that me being that extra frugal, so frugal to the point where I was just like, well, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna have that thing. I'm not gonna decorate my room that way. I'm not gonna do this for the sake of wanting to save a coin or something like that. And I'm like, future me is not like that. She's like, I want to redo my bathroom, which I recently did, finally, because I brought myself out of that frugal mindset of, well, why am I doing this? Because I want to. Because I want to walk into my bathroom and I want it to feel like the way my bedroom feels when I walk into there. When I walk into my bedroom, y'all, like, I love it there. I decorated it exactly for me. I decorated it to make me feel comfortable. I put everything in there the way that I wanted it. I color coordinated it the way that I wanted to. And for the longest time, I couldn't justify spending money to redo my bathroom. I could, like, in my mind, it was just like, why? And it's like, well, because I want it to be, you know, a cute place that I like being in. And it's like, well, it's a bathroom. Why, you know? And I really had to go back and forth with myself. And it wasn't until I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and she had said something, and I expressed to her, and I was like, yeah, I've been wanting to like redo my bathroom. Like, I want to, you know, I want to go pink theme or whatever. And she was like, why don't you? And I really sat and I thought about it, and I couldn't justify a reason of why not, other than I don't need to spend that money. But then it's like, but you have the money to spend. It's not like it's gonna put you in a hole, you know? So when I had that conversation with her, I was just like, Bobby, do you want your bathroom to be a place of refuge or not? Like, and I really had to really think about it. And I was like, no, yes, I want to redo my bathroom. I want to make it a really cute and comfortable space for myself. I want it to be a place that I just walk in, I'm like, oh, my bathroom, I love it in here. The same way that I feel about my entire casita, like the same way that I feel about my apartment, the same way that I feel about my bedroom. And ultimately, I did it. And now I'm sitting here like, wow, I was being so cheap for nothing. I could have had a cute ass bathroom this whole time. Anyway, I say that to say, it seems like something so little, but it was a realization that I had that, you know, how I see myself in the future, the woman I see myself in the future is not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna redo my bathroom for the sake of saving a coin, you know, or because I want a penny pinch, or because I can't justify it. The woman I see myself as is like, I want it, I got it. I want it, I give it to myself. And I do that in a lot of other ways in my life, but then I was also starting to see that there were a lot of little ways that I was gypping myself of having certain experiences that I wanted to have just either out of trauma, like trauma responses, or just out of old ways that used to work for me, which I guess in a sense is the same thing, out of trauma responses. And who I see myself as in the future, she doesn't live like that. She doesn't live from those places of trauma. She doesn't make decisions based on, you know, those old places. She'll never forget where she came from. I'll never forget what I've gone through. I'll never forget what I had to go through to be here. But at the same time, I'm not gonna rob myself of certain experiences because of the places that I've been. Now, again, I'm not gonna go be dumb with my money, and I'm not gonna go make all these crazy and wild decisions or reckless decisions with my life, but I'm not going to let where I have been and what I've had to do in the past to survive to keep me from ultimately living the full future that I see myself living. And I say that to tie this point into, there are going to be certain things that you are going to have to sit with yourself and realize that I cannot take this with me to where I'm going. This trauma that I'm carrying, I can't take that into my next step of life if I see myself being successful, if I see myself being seen, if I see myself being loved, if I see myself being centered, if I see myself being whatever it is that you see yourself as. There are certain things that you are not going to be able to carry with you, and certain things that you are going to have to heal from and let go of and leave them where they are so that you can walk into the next chapter of your life. And your life should continue to be a progression of that. You should always be evolving. So there should never be a point that you just hit and it's just like everything is awesome, I'm perfect, I don't need to grow anymore. Like, you're always going to be shedding yourself. You're always going to be shedding your old self and walking into a new version of yourself. And I believe that a natural part of that is realizing that there are certain things that you have to shed right along with it. I'm just going to use myself as an example. For a long time, that's how I got along, right? And it was not talking harshly to myself in a sense of like berating myself, but it was like being very, very, very hard on myself, right? It was something that got me from point A to point B. It was something that got me out of bed, that got me to be motivated, that got me to do the things that I needed to do. And then I hit a point in my life where that didn't work anymore. The person that I was becoming was not responding to me talking to myself any kind of way. The person that I was becoming was no longer responsive to me saying negative things to myself in an attempt to motivate myself to do better. And I had to change. I had to change the way that I talked to myself. I had to address the limiting beliefs that I had for myself and realize that this is not going to elevate me to the next step of my life. This is not nice. This is not the way that I want to talk to myself. This is not the way that I am going to continue to allow myself to be treated, because I don't take that from anybody else. Why would I take it from me? Or if I'm taking it from me, how would I expect anybody else to treat me better if I'm treating myself so badly? Or I make it sound like worse than what it is, but just realizing that there were certain things that it's like, I can't tell myself this and expect myself to succeed to the level of success that I want to achieve. Not talking to myself like that. And so I had to change how I handled myself. I had to learn or unlearn talking to myself from a place of you better, because if you don't, you will fail and you will fail us, and shaking the finger, and go from, hey, you've got all the makings of a successful person in A, B, C, and D. And I believe in you and I love you and I'm riding along right with you. And even when you mess up, even when you backtrack, even when you make a mistake, I still love you and I still believe in you and I still know that you're gonna do it. Now, sometimes tough love does come in, porque sometimes you gotta give yourself the little pats. Sometimes you gotta smack yourself around just a little bit, but that shouldn't be your everyday thing. And that was something for me. I had to realize that the person that I am now, I don't respond to that. I used to have an alarm set on my phone, my gym alarm, right? And if you know me, you know I am a 6 a.m. girly. I love working out before the sun comes up because I get it done, I get it over with, I feel good for the rest of the day. When I was in college, I used to have my gym alarm set. It was set, I would wake up at like 5:45 because our gym will open at 6. And my alarm would say, wake up, fatty. It's funny now that I think about it, but it's like, that was not great. But that's what my alarm said. Like, it was like my alarm would go off and I would turn my phone over and all you would see big on the screen, it'd be like, get up, fatty. Like, and I wasn't even fat, y'all. But it was a motivator for me. I don't want anybody to take this as being fat phobic or anything like that. This is how I was talking to myself, okay? So I don't need y'all down in the comment, oh, you're fat. No, I like to work out. I like to be fit. That's how I like my body. I've always liked it. But at that time, it was not coming from a place of love for my body. It was coming from a place of, you need to get up and be on it, because if you don't, then you're going to become that which you don't want to be, or whatever the case may be. So I had an alarm that said, wake up, fatty. And I remember one day thinking to myself, and I was like, why do I have that? Like, why is that the title of my gym alarm, Wake Up Fatty. Like, why would I say that to myself? Why would I talk to myself like that? I'm like, I'm working out, I'm working hard, I take care of myself. I'm up at 5:45 a.m. Now it's like 5:15, 5 o'clock, 5:15. But I'm like, I'm up at 5:30, 5:45 every day. I work hard. At that point, when I was in college, I was probably working out several times per day, which I still kind of do because I teach dance and I go to the gym, and you know, but I was working out several times a day, like a lot during the week, and on the weekends I work out like 2 to 3 times per day. And I'm like, why am I talking to myself like this? Why does my alarm say that? And I'm like, the person I see myself as, or I saw myself as at that time, like my future self from that present me, I was like, she doesn't talk to herself like that. She loves her body. She wakes up and works out because she enjoys it. Because I did, you know, I never did not enjoy it, but it's like she talks to herself in a way that is edifying, in a way that is encouraging, in a way that is, wake up and let's go do this thing that we've dedicated, you know, that we've dedicated our mornings to do because we love ourselves that much. And I changed that alarm. I changed that. I think I was like, wake up sexy or wake up beautiful or something like that. Now it just says wakey, like it's just wakey with a bunch of exclamation marks or whatever. But at that time I shifted it. And so when I would wake up in the morning, I would look at my alarm, it'd be like, wake up beautiful or wake up sexy or wake up fine ass or whatever. I don't remember what it was. It was something that was not what it was before. And that's what I had started waking myself up to see that. And that would be the first thing that I saw in the morning, was me telling myself, reminding myself, wake up, you beautiful creature who's going to go do this amazing thing with this bomb body, this beautiful cuerpo that the Lord has blessed you with, to go do that. But I say that just as a small example of just like the person that I saw myself as, she was not responding to that. That is not how she talked to herself. And even now, there are certain things that I'm like, I see myself as, or the woman I see myself as, there are certain things that I don't tolerate anymore. There are certain things that I just don't engage with. There are certain things that certain boundaries that I have now that I didn't have, like whether it was a few months ago, whether it was last year, whether it was a few years ago, because the woman I see myself as operates in a different way from the woman that I have been. And I'm here to tell y'all this too, that sometimes that's not always going to sit well with the people around you or the people who knew you as your past self or as that person that you used to be. Some people are going to be like, well, dang, you changed. You think you better. You think I do. I do, because I want better for myself, because the person that I see myself as is better, because the woman that I see myself as desires better. She deserves better. And I'm starting those changes right now. And the people who are meant to be in your life and the people who are there for you 100%, they're going to understand that and they're going to get with the program. And if they don't, those are not people who are supposed to be around that future version of yourself. And all you're doing is cutting your losses early so that future you doesn't have to do it later. So she doesn't have to deal with the downsides of remaining friends with these people who are not really your friends. And sometimes it's just a discomfort thing for them, for some people, to have known you so long at a certain level that sometimes they can't wrap their heads around your changes, but it's not up to them. It's not for them to wrap their minds around your changes. The person that you see yourself as is for you. It's not for other people. I'm not becoming future Bobby because I want other people to recognize how great she is. I already know how great she is. They're gonna see how great she is. I'm doing it for me because there's something that I want within my life. There's different that I want within my future. There's a way that I see myself, a way that I want to carry myself, successes that I want to go after that have nothing to do with nobody else. And if they can't get on the same page as me, if they can't understand why I'm moving the way that I'm moving, it's not for them. They can either come with me or they can stay where they're at. I don't want to get all preachy, but I do want y'all to understand the importance of understanding where you are now and the things that you might be involved in right now, the things that you might be tolerating right now, the things that you might be engaging with right now. Some of those things you are not going to be able to take with you into your future to become that person that you see yourself as. So you really do have to sit with yourself and see, who am I? Where am I now? And who do I desire to be, and where am I going? And are there things that I am doing right now or not doing right now that are hindering me from getting to that point of where I want to be, or that person that I want to be? And when you figure out what those things are, you got to start making action plans to either cut those things, cut down on those things, or hype those things up if they're things that you need to start doing, so that you can ultimately get to be your future self and the person that you see yourself as. Anyway, just so I don't keep just rambling on and on and on, because you know I am tu prima favorita and I do like to talk. Feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what it is that you are working on cutting out or hyping up, or whatever the case may be, so that you can become that future self that you see yourself as. Feel free to drop that down in the comments, because I love reading y'all's comments and I love engaging with y'all. Also, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Again, this is tu prima favorita Bobby here. Thank you for joining me today in the Cousins Corner, and I will see you next time. Bye.